Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are back with the weekly Prem predictions. I know we got a little bit off there with the FA Cup coming around with the EFL Cup, but we're back. Game week 21. Let me give my wonderful opinions. I think that this game is going to be a fun one, right? Chelsea had a great start to the season. All those players look to be firing on all cylinders, and Zomareska looked to have turned this team around. But recently, it's been a little bit more shaky, right? Doesn't look like the players have the experience to be really in a title race. I think that they still are, right? I don't think they've fallen off that much. I know Liverpool has a crazy league, but this Chelsea side has the quality. They have a good manager, I would say, and I think that they do have the ability to start winning games again. Is this a game they're going to start winning? Their winning streak again? I'm not too sure, because this Bournemouth side is incredible. They play such beautiful football, and then having Kirkes at left back, if they can keep him through the January transfer window and the summer transfer window, they're going to be a good spot. And then Semenyo as well. If they can keep these players, they will be in a great position to move forward. Bournemouth is going to win this game 2-1. I think as of now, Bournemouth looks to be the better side, but if Chelsea kicks it back into the gear, we have a game on our hands. Now, with this one, it's a little bit interesting. We have a lot to talk about. First of all, Fulham has been good this season, right? They're top 10. They're not, currently 9th, right? They've been playing good football. It looks like they've revitalized some players. Raul's been playing well. Emile Smith-Rowe has had some pretty good performances. Anthony Robinson, as an American, I just want to say, what a player we have. Oh my gosh. It's just great to see one of those Americans succeeding in Europe, right? I think this Fulham has the potential for Europe, right? I think everything is looking kind of shaky right now. Teams are not at their best. I think that Fulham is going to work to take advantage of this. On the other side, we have West Ham. West Ham has had a terrible start to the season. They spent so much money in the summer, and look at how far they've come. They are in relegation form. In fact, their manager just got fired, right? They just brought in Graham Potter, so maybe we'll see a little bit of a manager bounce. I don't know. I think that this Fulham side is too well together for this West Ham. I think that Fulham is going to win this 2-0. I don't think West Ham is going to be able to do anything. But I'm hoping that West Ham can turn their season around. I think people are going to call me crazy because Man City have won 2 games recently. But I think that this is going to be a tie, right? I know that Man City is working to get onto winning ways. I'm not quite sure they're there yet. I am still doubtful. Meanwhile, this Brentford fight is feisty. They fight for every win that they can get. They still have Mbeumo. They've been able to keep him through this transfer window, which is incredible. He's such a good player for them. He's so important for them. I think that Brentford is going to tie this game. I think they're going to push and they're going to fight. I think Man City is as well. They're trying to get back into the title race. But I think that this game, they're going to be stopped 2-2. I might be a little bit crazy on that one based off of Man City's current form and how they don't lose. But I want to shake things up. I want to believe in this Brentford side. Ooh, this one's supposed to be a game. Nottingham Forest currently is 2nd place, tied with Arsenal. That's crazy to say, seeing as how I saw so many people setting up Nottingham Forest for failure, right? Nobody had them in the top 4. But this Nottingham Forest, despite the lack of those superstar names, right, they are fighting, right? They do have some upcoming stars. Chris Wood recently is just looking to be hitting his peak, his prime in his career. And they've just been a good team. I've enjoyed watching them. I've enjoyed seeing the success. It's always nice to see new teams compete in the Premier League, compete for the top 4. Even, I would say they're competing for a title, right? That might be crazy to say, but they're that close. They're right on with Arsenal. And this is an important game. They've also been the only team in the Prem to beat Liverpool. So I think Liverpool fans are genuinely scared of this game. And then on the other side, I think Liverpool has been shaky, right? I think they've been stumbling around a little bit. They've been getting wins recently, but they haven't been as convincing as they were early on in the season. I think that this game could be a difficult one for Liverpool. I think this Nottingham Forest is confident and they have bounced back from every out they've been in. I also do like this Liverpool side. This Liverpool side has a lot of quality. There's a lot of interesting situations going on with the transfer window, right? Whether we're going to be losing Nunez in the transfer window. I've been hearing rumors. There's talks of Trent leaving for Madrid. And I'm going to talk about that for a quick second. I think that would be a ridiculous move. Trent has been a Liverpool man all his life, right? You can build an incredible legacy at this Liverpool side. This team is number 1 in the Champions League, number 1 in the Prem. I think he should stay, right? They also have Mo Salah, Van Dijk, such world-class players. Honestly, I just also want to mention Gravenberch has been balling out this season, right? Never heard too much before, but he's just on a different level this season. He's playing well. I think Arne Slot has unlocked some of these players, and it really is a joy to see, right? Because Liverpool was so competitive and then they fell off near the end of the season. I like to see the Prem. I like to see there be different winners. So I'm happy with how the title race is going. I am proud of this Liverpool side. They're working their butts off for this win. But with this game specifically, I think that it's going to be a 1-1. I think that Nottingham Forest is going to push. They're going to fight, and they're going to hold out for a draw. I don't think that they can win, right? But I think they can get that draw. With this one, I think it's pretty clear. Honestly, I would say Newcastle look to be the best team in all of England. The performances that they've been putting out have been world class. Isak is world class. He's worth that 150 million price tag, right? He is just bringing up all the players around him. And while Newcastle had a rough start, I think that now they're starting to settling in, and they're proving that they're a top 4 side. They deserve to be in the Champions League. They deserve to be playing at the very least in Europe, right? And then Wolves has had a shaky season. Yeah, so far they've been able to manage to hold on to Cunha, but they're facing an informed Newcastle. This team is one of the few teams I would back to win against Liverpool. This side just is incredible. I think that Newcastle is going to come here and slaughter Wolves, right? Love seeing the fight from these smaller teams, but it's not going to be enough. I think it's going to be a 3-0. I just feel bad. I think this Newcastle side is just reaching other levels. I feel like Aston Villa has been the disappointment of the season, right? Last season they were coming off of, we've reached Champions League, we're top 4, right? We're going to do it again. But this season their performances just haven't been as shocking, otherworldly. I love the team that they have. I love the fight that they have. Their offense, right, can be one of the most exciting and fun to watch. And yet their defense just isn't it. I think if they fix that problem, they'll be a lot more set, right? That being said, they're facing Everton, and Everton has been a mess this season. They are in relegation form again. They're not looking too well. Their manager, I'm pretty sure, just got fired, right? So that'll make things even more difficult. I think Aston Villa is going to take advantage of that, and they're going to get a win here. I think it's going to be 2-0. I know Everton has looked solid defensively, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough to keep out the Aston Villa defense. I'm going to say 2-1. I think Everton can score a goal. I don't think Aston Villa's defense is it. I think that's going to be the score, 2-1. Both of these teams haven't been great, let's be honest. Even with the new manager, Ruud van Nistelrooy, it's been tough for Leicester City. I like to see these relegation sides fight, but I don't think that they have enough to stay up in the Prem. I think the gap between the Championship and the Premier League is just massive nowadays. But it's still fun to watch them fight and to see them struggle. I would love to see an underdog story. This would be a must-win game because Crystal Palace has not been in the best form, right? They've been struggling. They've been picking up wins and draws here and there, but for the most part, they haven't looked as good as they were last season. They clearly didn't replace Olise. It's just shown now how much of a key player he is for this team. But I'm actually backing Crystal Palace to win this one 1-0, right? I think they'll be able to scrape by. I don't know that this is going to be a crazy exciting game. I think Crystal Palace will be able to get the win. We've got a North London derby. This is insane. Arsenal fans, I need to talk to you for a minute. I've been hearing talks of Arteta out. But when you look at where Arsenal was at just a few years ago and how far he's brought this team, how can you be talking about your manager like that? I understand you're frustrated, right? I understand you guys haven't looked good. It hasn't been looking good. But this is a man who's brought this team from nothing, right? I think that there's definitely work to be done, but I don't think there's enough to be said, get this man out. This squad still has quality. The back line is good, right? The midfield could be worked on. I think their players have been inconsistent. But to say to get your manager out is crazy. This man deserves all the respect in the world for what he has done for this team. This is his first managing job. Who can we say that's come in their first job and just completely fixed the team, right? It's such a difficult thing. It's pretty much unheard of in the Prem. The only manager I can think of that's doing something similar or having this much of an impact on the team is Arne Slot, right? End of the day with Enzo Maresca and Chelsea, you could say that Pochettino is going to do the same thing because Pochettino had getting them into winning ways. But back to Arteta, I think that he really has worked on this team. Now, there's definitely work to be done. I think that Arsenal should be signing players in the transfer window. Who they should be signing, I'm not even sure. But there is work to be done. On the other side, we have Tottenham. Right, Tottenham is, again, as we've talked about so often, one of the most fun teams in all of England, right? You never know what you're going to get. They could be the best team in Europe, or they can be the worst team in Europe. There's no in between, right? Defensively, they have looked shaky, right? They look like one of the worst. But their offense is just so fun to watch, right? Just the way they just hammer at teams is so much fun to watch. It's chaotic. I think Ange Postecoglou is one of the most entertaining managers for, bringing out this chaotic side of Tottenham. I know that they've also been riddled with some injuries, especially to that back line. But they're coming off of a win against Liverpool. And with Tottenham, they're always going to pull up to the rivals with all they have. I think it's going to be a draw. Call me crazy. I think it's going to be 1-1. I think that Arsenal's going to fight specifically because it's Tottenham. All right? I think it's going to be a 1-1. They look to be a really good side at times, and then there'll be other games where they'll drop off their performance a little bit, but they are coming off of big results, right? Specifically against Arsenal recently, right? I like how they play. They look to be a fun team. And then we have Ipswich. Ipswich is starting to kind of feel their ways into the Prem. They're slowly adapting. But is it going to be enough to keep themselves up? I don't know. I feel like they're the more likelier sides to stay up. But it's just difficult for new teams to stay up. I think that Brighton's going to win this one 2-1. I think that they're going to be going off of the hype of the previous game. And they're going to bring it into this game. It's a difficult one to tell, to be honest. Manchester United's going to be hyped after the previous two games. Getting a draw with Liverpool and beating Arsenal are huge, massive results. And I think they're going to take that energy with them to Southampton, right? They need to do this, right? They need to show that they're still a competitive side, because I think the fans are a little bit upset. They've been suffering for a long time, and to start getting results now would be massive, which is why I think they're going to push for something. And then on the other hand, Southampton doesn't have the quality to compete in the Premier League. I'm sorry. It just looks like it's the Tyler Dibbling show. He's 19 years old. He's a great player, but does he have enough to carry this team in the Prem? And I don't think he can. I don't think he's the answer. I think Manchester United is going to win this 3-0. But I think it'll be an entertaining game. I hope to see a fight from Southampton. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the game week predictions. Let me know what you think I got right, what I got wrong, and I will see you all in the next video.